We got our evidence from a number of different places. We looked at the costs that people were trying to save. We looked at how that turned into individual support for individual children. We looked at comparative costs in other places that we could find out about, and how that was reflected in terms of the moral argument about whether it's fair or not to have a little bit more money going into our children than other children, and found that there was a big disparity in all over the place, so that it wasn't really relevant whether our children were getting that. So we looked at all those kind of things. We tried to pull together a little bit, case studies of how lives would be changed by the reduction in funding, what it might mean, what the risks were, and all that kind of stuff. So it took a fairly business-like approach to that kind of stuff. And we used it constantly, so we were constantly repeating the same messages time and time again because they were the right messages. Try and keep it as simple as possible, not go into some great elaborate calculation of how much a ratio of this cost per hour against whatever. You keep it simple and say, you're trying to save X. That's equivalent to X. The impact could be this, that kind of thing. If you're trying to save £40,000 and you can prove that the potential cost of that is going to be another £400,000, then clearly that needs to be considered. People might not buy your argument, but you can make the case. And if you have that kind of simple illustration of your argument, and if you can repeat it, because there's no harm in a stock record if you're right. Then you can make yourself very persuasive, and that's what we try to do.